President Tinubu eulogizes late renowned businessman and philanthropist Alhaji Aminu Dantata. Delegates demand for electoral reform and state police as House of Representatives Committee holds public hearing for Southwest in Akure. And Federal Safety Corps recovers 35 stolen vehicles across the country in the first half of 2025. Hello and welcome to the news at 11 on NTA News24, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. Now, the president has eulogized the rare personality of the late renowned businessman and philanthropist Alhaji Aminu Dantata. State House correspondent Musbadan Wahab reports that President Tinubu visited the family of the deceased in Kano, where he described late Alhaji Dantata as a titan and great humanitarian figure.
State Governor Abba Yusuf, and a military reception for the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Residents of the northern commercial city were well aware of the presence of the president, and the show of love on the streets was equally visible. The president headed for cookie at the residence of the Dantatas. Notable members of the family and indigents of the state, including Alhaji Aliko Dangote and Alhaji Tanko Yekasai, received the president.
We seem very, very close to my family.
President Tinubu recounted his close relationship with the deceased, whose hard work and generosity he said Nigerians will greatly miss.
He's a man of immense personality, honesty, integrity, and philanthropy, commitment to humanity in every aspect of the way. Generous, so good, so committed to great value of our country.
The president also acknowledged the demise of the late businessman as a national loss.
I sympathize with you. I sympathize with the entire nation. We've lost a titan and a great conscience of our country, a humanitarian for that matter, par excellence.
Following the death of Alhaji Aminu Dantata in Abu Dhabi, UAE, on June 28, President Tinubu directed some of his ministers to attend the burial in Saudi Arabia. The family appreciates that decision as a mark of honor for their late patriarch.
We regard you in very high esteem. We have seen your cordial relationship before you became president. We have seen how you interacted with him while he was alive, and we have now seen how you have reacted to his demise. On behalf of the family, we thank you wholeheartedly.
We are aware about your assistance in terms of talking and appealing to the leaders in Dubai as well as Saudi Arabia. Now we want to thank you for that.
The president is back in the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Musbao Wahab, NTA News.
Demands for electoral reforms, state police, judicial restructuring, enforcement of local government autonomy, and the creation of new states topped discussions as the 10th House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review held a public hearing for the Southwest Center B in Akure, Ondo State. Over 50 position papers were presented by delegates from Ondo, Oshun, and Ekiti State, reflecting diverse views on how to strengthen Nigeria's constitutional framework. And Paul Mokago reports.
This public hearing is essentially to gauge the views, opinions, suggestions, and position of the people of Ondo, Osun, and Ekiti states on constitutional reforms. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa and the Deputy Governor of Osun State, Kolawole Adewusi, aligned on areas of constitutional amendments and reforms, particularly on comprehensive federalism and state police creation, to effectively combat the rising cases of insecurity across the country.
Ondo State is not opposed to the creation of new state as requested in some of the proposed bills, but the government and good people of Ondo State strongly oppose excising part of our territory.
Is there a way we can reduce the cost of governance so that we make it less attractive? It will not become a matter of life and death.
Chairman, Southwest Center B on the Constitutional Review, James Faleke, says the committee would collate and submit the various memoranda and position papers to the House for further action.
They understood all the bills, and they took their time to air their own views. And for us, as members of National Assembly, we are fulfilled.
Legislators, people living with disabilities, the judiciary, women's groups, and organized labor presented their position papers on areas of constitutional amendments and reforms. The public hearing seeks to ensure broader participation of Nigerians and other stakeholders with a view to fostering the exchange of ideas as well as provide feedback to members of the public on the memoranda submitted. In Akure, Paul Mukago, NTA News.
The National Orientation Agency is renewing commitment to the full implementation of the National Values Charter through partnerships. Kenneth Nanim reports that the agency is leveraging its one-day stakeholders workshop to intimate the voluntary organizations on the renewed vigor towards building a more reliable, resilient, and responsible citizens who are committed to upholding the national core values. The agency also appreciates efforts of voluntary organizations in filling the gaps where the services of the NOA could not get to.
In value orientation, with renewed commitment to build a stronger and more value-driven Nigeria. Your efforts, your sacrifices in making things to be ordered in this country shall be greatly rewarded. In 1960.
For the volunteers, the workshop is one of that deepens their knowledge, skills, and confidence to render more efficient services and resonate the hope that the voluntary work they do will not be in vain.
So that with this, we can replicate this in our various sites and locations.
The group photograph.
Both parties were on the same page regarding citizens' role in nation building. The Federal Road Safety Corps says it has recovered a total of 35 stolen vehicles across the country in the first half of 2025 alone. This was said to have been achieved through the intelligence-driven operations preconditioned by the deployment of the National Vehicle Identification Scheme NVIS portal, a data-driven platform that continues to be pivotal in the fight against vehicle-related crimes. Reacting to this, the Corps Marshal Shehu Mohammed commended the personnel involved in the tracking and recovery of the vehicles, stating that this feat is a testament to the effectiveness of interagency synergy and technological integration in modern law enforcement. Nigeria has joined the global race by developed and emerging economies to diversify their energy portfolios with low carbon resources, particularly hydrogen. Given the global trend, time is now ripe for Nigeria to establish a robust national hydrogen policy. Mina Daniels was at a handover workshop of the Nigeria for H2 project research results held at the State House Conference Center in Abuja.
Nigeria for Hydrogen project, titled A Critical Analysis of the Potentials, Infrastructure and Enabling Framework Conditions for Green Hydrogen in Fertilizer Production in Nigeria, is an attempt for integration into the national energy mix. At the workshop for official handover of the research results, stakeholders identify need to expedite actions towards achieving green energy interventions through hydrogen production.
Especially the Office of the Vice President, he has been very much interested, and I recall that he hosted a meeting specifically on the matter. We will provide a coordinated support to the development of green hydrogen in Nigeria.
The Nigerian for Hydrogen project, initiated by West African Civic Center on Climate Change and Adopted Land Use, WASCAL, in collaboration with Nigerian academic institutions, was designed to access the technical infrastructure, regulatory and investment landscape necessary to harness Nigeria's green hydrogen potential for the manufacture of fertilizers based on green ammonia in Nigeria.
And it is very pleasing that Nigeria is joining the fold, even though a little bit late, but as they say, better late than never. Hydrogen is a welcome development. If taken seriously, we will be able to get electricity through hydrogen much more than the electricity we are getting from conventional and renewable energy systems at the moment.
The project identified immense renewable energy potential, including solar, hydropower, wind, and vast water reserves and green hydrogen potentials across the region.
In the energy transition, renewable energy plays a critical role for Africa to sustainably develop. Green hydrogen can play two roles. Number one, on the energy sector, to power transportation, to produce electricity, and then on the agricultural side, for the production of fertilizer.
High point of the event was the handing over of the report to Nigeria, tailored towards Nigeria's local needs, interests, and aspirations. The objective of the 4-chapter document promotes green and blue hydrogen to support Nigeria's net zero commitment by 2060, amongst others. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 11 on NTA News24. We take a break. We'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
It's engaging, it's refreshing, and impacting. Are you interested in contributing to the Nigerian project? Are you keen on adding your voice to the making of the Nigeria of our dream? Are you willing to be part of the new tribe of Nigeria that are sold on doing the right thing always? Then join the conversation every Saturday by 5 p.m. on Impact Nigeria on NTA News24. It's a live interactive discussion program that focuses on values, reorientation, and nation building. Join our team of passionate Nigerians as they dissect key ethical issues that impact Nigeria and Nigerians. Be part of our program live and via our social media platforms. Saturdays, 5 p.m. and repeat broadcast Sundays, 1:03 p.m. Impact Nigeria, coming soon on NTA News24. Join us.
Now, the rising water levels and persistent rainfall have once again turned the spotlight on riverine communities in Kogi State. In a bid to curb the frequent boat mishaps associated with this season, the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA Lokoja, has launched a sensitization campaign. Jonathan Omajali reports that the first point of engagement was Giriya, a critical waterway linking Kogi to Niger State.
Girinya, a bustling agrarian community in Kogi local government area, has long been one of the region's most vulnerable flashpoints for seasonal flooding. Known as a commercial hub that attracts traders from Niger and neighboring states, many of whom arrive via waterways. The sensitization engagement by the National Inland Waterways Authority, NIWA, was both timely and crucial, aimed at promoting safety, emergency preparedness, and effective response along the waterways. The event drew boat operators, community leaders and regular water users who were educated on the importance of using life jackets and adhering to other safety protocols.
If you go into water together, you will definitely survive it and might not survive it because this life jacket, water will take it off you.
We have navigational signs on the river. We see some boys, black, red, green. They are telling you something.
According to NIWA officials, the initiative aligns with the authorities' broader mission to reduce casualties on inland waterways and ensure that communities like Girinya are equipped with the knowledge and tools necessary for survival. A highlight of the sensitization campaign was the distribution of life jackets to members of the community.
The life jackets is one of the principal safety gears we use on the water. Because we don't pray for any eventualities, but if it actually happens, then obviously it will save every occupant before the arrivals of safety officers.
The event also featured a live demonstration showing how to properly use life jackets in the event of a boat mishap.
Sometimes last year, we had an issue of a boat that capsized and we lost about 14 lives. So we are trying to forestall all those kind of disasters. Disasters, whenever it's coming, it does not tell you it is going to come. The only way we can avoid disaster is to mitigate against it by doing the right thing.
They are using this life jacket. If they are on the water, their life are safe. So it has very much impact to my people.
This is first time to see this kind of team program, especially down this Girinya, Kotonkarfi.
The authorities collaborating with the State Emergency Management Agency, the Nigerian Navy and other stakeholders to extend sensitization campaigns to other riverine communities. From Girinya, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Now the Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC, has called on Nigerians to disregard calls for a strike by personnel of the Nigeria Police Force, assuring the public of the force's continued commitment to maintaining peace and security across the country. Francis Fong reports that in a show of support, PCRC leadership from all 36 states of the Federation converged in Abuja to pass a vote of confidence on the current leadership of the Nigeria Police Force. The committee described the purported strike threat as misleading and unpatriotic.
All what Agbetoku is doing is to give Nigeria Police a facelift, of which we have feedback across the 36 states of Nigeria and FCT. All the Nigeria Police under Agbetoku are winning war against crime and criminality. We call on federal government to do more for the Nigeria Police in terms of their welfare. We talk about the police pensioners to look at their welfare as well.
The PCRC reaffirmed its support for ongoing reforms within the force under the Renewed Hope agenda and urged officers to remain professional, assuring that issues of welfare and operational challenges are being addressed through appropriate channels. And a group of youth drawn from across Africa is partnering Connected Development Code to create a platform to ask alternative futures for governance and development that are rooted in African realities. At a media parley in Abuja, the team unveiled plans on an international conference of Africa's democracy, ICAD, that would hold in Nigeria for sustained conversations on critical African policies that can promote economic sovereignty and shared prosperity for Africans. Tokwe Alabi reports.
Africa's population is projected to reach 1.5 billion by 2040, with its economic growth to improve from 3.4% in 2024 to 3.7% in 2025 and further to 4.0% in 2026. This positive trajectory reflects recoveries in key economic and ongoing efforts towards regional integration under the African Continental Free Trade Area. With Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, this team of youths is born from the growing need for systems that reflect the continent's unique realities and bold conversations on Africa's governance and development challenges. To this end, going by the richness and diversity of global civilization, an international conference on Africa's democracy, ICAD 2025, will be coming up in Abuja, Nigeria, between 22nd and 23rd July to craft solutions from the continent's realities that are vital for progress.
From Lagos to Dakar, Johannesburg to Cairo, the windows of change are staring. Our people are restless for transparent leadership, meaningful participation, and a dignity that is not requested as a favor, but as enshrined as a right.
Because we've not just come to recognize our values as Africans, we're also putting systems and structures in place to see that these things come to pass.
We are a continent of 1.4 billion people with a potential market of $3 trillion. But because of these fragmented borders and closed systems, we cannot explore these potentials. And because of that, we are still in poverty.
And to us, it's beginning of a new wave in the African democracy and seeing that Africa becomes what it was destined to be.
This event is geared towards shaping conversations and driving solutions that strengthen democratic governance, values, and civic participation across the continent. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJF City Council, has held a special Jumat prayer at Nasfat Mosque, Otako, to commemorate 2025 Press Week with advocacy for improved welfare and remuneration. The acting chief regional imam of Nasfat, Sheikh Maruf Raji, who conducted the 2 units congregational Jumat prayer, appreciated journalists for their fundamental role of uniting the country and uplifting the people, and prayed for improved welfare and safety of practitioners at all times.
Journalism has come to stay forever because they have done wonderfully in changing the society to be positive and to be informed of what they need to know as a citizen of the religion, whether Muslim or Christian faith. You see information that is available to them courtesy of the journalists of this country. May Allah continue to be with them.
As we prepare to commence our week, we feel we deem it fit that we start with prayer. And we are starting with the Islamic prayer, which has just been ended today in the Nasfat Mosque in Abuja. By Sunday, our colleagues will also be in church for church service. So we are committing this week in the hands of Allah. We are seeking for the welfare of journalism. As we commence this week, we agitate for a better welfare for journalists in FCT.
Chairman of the Council, Grace Ike, represented by the Vice Chairman, Yahaya Ndababo, said the lineup of events are meant to raise awareness on pertinent issues affecting the journalism profession and appealed for active participation of journalists in the FCT for a robust engagement. This is the news at 11 on NTA News24, and here's a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu eulogizes late renowned businessman and philanthropist Alhaji Aminu Dandata. Delegates demand for electoral reform and state police as House of Representatives Committee holds public hearing for Southwest in Akure. And the Federal Safety Corps recovers 35 stolen vehicles across the country in the first half of 2025.
This is NTA News24.
And now to sports, it was nothing short of a five-star performance from the Super Falcons as they thumped over Zambia 5-0 to book a spot in the semi-finals of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Esther Okoronkwo was the star of the match up as she recorded a goal and 2 assists following her first start in the tournament. Osinachi Ohale scored first on 2 minutes following a header from a perfectly weighted across from Esther Okoronkwo. 30 minutes later, she was on the receiving end of a cross from Rashidat Ajibade and slotted home from close range. Chiwendu Ihezo continued her fine run in front of goal as she netted the third right before halftime. But the Falcons were not done as Esther Okoronkwo yet again floated in a beautiful set piece that found Tosin Demihin nodding home the fourth of the game. Folashade Jamilusi then put the game to rest as she lashed on to a cross from Rashidat Ajibade down to the right to make it 5 in injury time. The Super Falcons have never failed to reach the semi-finals of the WAFCON since inception till date. And that ends the news. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bem. You do have a wonderful night, first.